we don't start for 15 minutes, right?
10. Hi, JJ.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not much.
Have any troubles connecting?
A little bit. I wasn't getting any audio.
Oh,
I think we had it muted.
yeah, we were muted to start.
Actually,
There we go.
I was recording.
We still got about 4 minutes, just FYI. So.
I got a.
All right, cool. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, you're coming in loud and clear.
Sounds like you're in the room. Cool.
Awesome.
I will bring that. We'll bring.
How many people do we need to get online?
Was it none?
Because, you know.
Wow, really? JJ's the first.
Yeah, no, it varies. Sometimes we'll get none, sometimes we'll get a couple.
Why does he get his own picture and we don't? The triangle file.
Well, because he's online.
Yeah,
And I'm not sure
it has to do with audio cues.
I was meaning to ask, did you
You
follow like
actually select
tools or something for your
You can just click on it.
Because I have
I know, but I think we kind of want the audio selection thing because we know what we look like.
that I could hook up a scanner to.
At least I know what I look like.
No, actually,
don't I?
it's
Do I?
it's in the directions for
What'd you think?
Skinnect or
It was bad.
Skinnect is the other 3D scanner, right?
it's a software, but yeah.
Okay. I managed to pick up a 3D camera, so I can actually scan shit. Which the cool thing about it is it hooks up to a laptop, and you have to enable it a little bit. There's a little software trickery required. But the thing is you set your depth gauge on it, effectively, and you scan, and you have to have good lighting set up, but you scan. And you actually get
No.
good scans if you do it correctly.
I don't know, Mark. That might turn out badly.
And the
Take it back to the
thing
later.
is, if you have it has the mouse or tripod built onto it, so what you can do is you can set your tripod, put it up a certain height, put whatever you're scanning on a turntable.
Not the point.
You know, it's a $2 turntable.
Like you
Scan,
3D picture of you and then print it.
and then
I'm going to go
rotate
check
the
my
scan.
model.
So you could take something like this and you scan it in, and you could build specifically off.
And that way you're always set to the right distance. First thing you scanned was a carton of eggs.
Have either of you guys ever used or done anything with NASA's photogrammetry software?
Oh, that stuff's amazing. You can do just about anything.
Is it free to the public?
The meeting is being run by a stand-in character.
Or a sit-in character, as it may be.
4K
Monty the
sensors.
Moose.
But
I found a pretty good photogrammetry software.
Did not catch that. You kind of cut in and out.
I figured out a good software to use for photogrammetry. I was experimenting with it for a couple of months, and I found a really good one. But it was, I think, it was about $150.
That's not bad.
That's really not bad. The good ones actually run about 7,000.
Reconstruct Me is also a really good software.
Yes, it is. But you gotta play with it though.
My thinking was that 4K sensors are cheap enough now. You could probably get one and hook it up to a Raspberry Pi or something, and then stream that. Stream that as the camera with just a 6-axis accelerometer hooked up to it, and get a rough single pass collection from the video stream, and then go through and separate it, and then just run that through the open source, one of the open source programming apps.
No.
That would be interesting. I know the ProSense
You get to their message.
has a really good camera to it,
Oh no, there's just a little
Hey Jim,
coordinated.
we're up and running, so we are being recorded.
Yes, I'll start here in a minute. The ProSense is actually really good. And the nice thing about it is, it likes a USB 3 connector, but it will work on USB 2.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And the other thing about it, I think it was 150. Only 150, and if you go over a couple times, it basically works on the same premise that the Xbox camera that 3D Xbox camera works.
Which one? The Connect 2 or the
Yeah.
first one?
The 2.
Cool.
It works basically in the same sense, except it has more depth gauges.
Okay.
So, and it has a really good refresh rate on it. It has close the refresh rate of the Connect out of the water.
Do you know what the spatial resolution of it is?
Depends on how close you're scanning things. Like, if I can get under a millimeter,
Okay.
which is well below any of the 3D printers.
Yeah.
So at that, you can do a live scan of people's heads. They just need to stay relatively still.
Yeah, we've done that with the Connect too. For
The
larger objects, it's easy, but it's the smaller objects that are hard.
Yeah, the thing is for smaller objects, you have to set it on a pedestal, and then just cut off the pedestal.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and
Alright, just
gentlemen,
start the movie.
Yep.
Okay.
we're a couple minutes over, so we'll go ahead and start the meeting. We start off with introductions. My name is Frank Robinson, president of Cyberia. Would anybody else like to introduce themselves?
I'm Austin Owens, event director.
I'm amazing. I'm Brian.
Hi, amazing.
Hey, and I'm Dave Thornburg.
Anybody else?
Jim Coleman.
Andy Hasera.
And we also have Eugene and Mark here with us. So, okay. So we'll start off with old business. We'll go ahead and open right up. JJ, large format CNC.
Yes, I plan on starting in on the large format here, maybe as early as this weekend at some point. We've got all of the parts necessary to do the gantry and start getting the some of the stuff mounted, and we'll have to do some cutting and some other stuff and get the rails mounted as well.
Okay.
So Jim and I are going to have to finish ordering parts. We don't need that many, though, so it's not too bad.
Okay. Alrighty. Did you manage to get the laptops finished being inventoried?
I never got a list.
The laptops
No, the
being
laptops were not finished being inventory.
Okay. All right.
So,
Vacuum former.
Kevin would like you to postpone discussion of the vacuum former till later in the meeting. He has to drive his wife home from the hospital, so he is going to try to join us on Hangout if you don't mind.
Okay, I can try and save that for new business. Let me just write me a note here.
Yeah, he just sent me a text about that too. So,
I don't like to hear it.
okay.
Okay, we'll save that for later then. Door lock. I'm currently working on the code portion for the door lock. JJ, what did you go ahead and get for us for it?
I got us a HID mullion reader. So it'll be a slim format and will fit nicely into the doorway. It's a I-class reader. So we should be able to use cards or the keychains. Yeah, the fobs. So we should be able to use either one. And I can get those from my work at cost. So it should be, cheap for us to get members. It'll at worst it'll probably be $2.50 a piece or $3 at worst.
Okay.
So we can figure out what we want to do, cards or fobs.
Okay. Let's see. I've got Cub Scouts written down.
No updates there yet.
Okay. The rulers, the 6-inch rulers.
Those turned out really well. Ended up giving them all away. So.
Yep. We had them at the Barnes & Noble event we went to, and we were cleaned right out of them. So we'll definitely be printing more of those for future events. If anybody would like one, talk to Austin. Tectonic Ninjas. Just get an update on them. How's it going?
It's going pretty well. Just got 2 new students on the team, and potentially
We have 3.
Yes, 3. Josiah, William, and Benjamin.
Yep.
So 2 families. Potentially, both families will become members to Cyberia. They're thinking about it right now, so things are moving along, getting things designed and parts cast.
So how many students total we have?
7 now, isn't it?
8.
8, I think.
Yeah.
2 young, the 2 brothers, Clarence.
When's the next event for them?
The next meeting?
Like
No.
like the next competition or the next
competition in
December
December.
19th.
December 19th.
That's the
Okay.
first competition.
Yes.
Okay. Can anybody think of anything else to add to old business? No? All right. So we'll go ahead and go into the board reports. Treasurer, anything to report?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Equipment.
Nothing earth-shattering. We got some new equipment recently, so yeah.
Got a stand-up sander, wide belt sander, a wet saw, and
Anyway,
mini lathe. And we also, so Teal, a friend and member of the club, has a sword forge and forging equipment. He says that if anybody wishes to use it, we simply have to talk to him and ask him to pull it out of storage, and we can use it. It is propane powered though, so you have to watch that.
do it outside.
Yeah, pretty much.
We obviously purchased propane.
Yeah. So,
What equipment was that again? A wet saw, mini lathe, and what?
belt sander, wide belt sander.
How wide?
I don't know.
6 or 8 inch. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's particularly nice.
Yeah, probably a 6-inch, and it does have an attached disc onto it.
Yeah, it's like looks like it's about 75 inches by 4. Sorry, 8, 6, 6.
Okay. And then access to the forging equipment. So, anything else for equipment?
Not that wasn't already covered elsewhere, I don't think.
Okay. Building report.
Okay, the chimney still needs to be swept out on that. That is not something I can do myself. I need people's help to do that, and it needs to be done immediately because we can't fire up the chimney safely until we get it cleaned out. So tomorrow, provided the wind is less than 20 miles an hour, somebody will be needing to go up there and clean it from the top down, and then somebody else inside will clean it from the bottom up. But we need that done so that we can start heating the place again. We've had 5 days below freezing, and that is bad for the equipment. Well, most especially it is bad for the ballasts in the woodworking area. That's one of the reasons why we're going through light bulbs.
So much. Let's also not forget that last thing we want is a water pipe freezing and busting.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we haven't gotten down to freezing inside here, but anything below 50 in here is not good.
Yeah.
Second thing, we have replaced the mechanical lock on the front door. So all mechanical keys that people have for the front door are no longer usable. Please return them if you have one. We're just going to hand them back into to the building person, to the landlord, for those. The cameras, we did not get a chance to get the cameras installed for the well, I suppose that falls under building and security wind up overlapping so much. I suppose that
Yeah.
goes under.
You can mention it. So yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get we did not get the cameras installed, and we need to purchase some office supplies, and I'm not sure what's left in my budget. There's at least one reimbursement that I haven't seen posted through on things that I've purchased, and I'm not sure what's left in the building budget to be able to order that, or if I need to get a vote for ordering additional.
That'll be addressed in the new business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me when tomorrow, and I'll help you with the gym.
Between
Okay.
1 and
Events.
I'll be here.
The Barnes and we just recently got done with the Barnes and Noble Maker over the previous weekend. Had a pretty substantial turnout. I believe so far we've seen 2 new members join from that event, and a couple more people are scheduled to stop by. We made a new sign, did some stuff to help get some new pieces in the booth box. So got a couple new sign stands, new sign, a big 12-foot stand for the Cyberia flag. Working on a new class system for all the education classes like Arduino and things. Had a meeting about that Wednesday, and that's moving forward. So that'll be developed more in the coming months. If you have any suggestions about when to do a Christmas thing, just email them to me or catch me sometime when I'm in here. Because I know a lot of people are talking about doing something like that for the club.
Well, traditionally we do a holiday open house, so we can just use December's open house.
Okay. Okay. Andy, what's the movie night?
For this month or next month?
This month.
This month, next week is Marooned and Apollo 13. Marooned, which has oh my gosh, I'm drawing a complete total blank on the people that are in it. It's got a couple of big names in it. Anyway, it was written by Martin Caden, who is the gentleman who also dreamt up the $6 Million Man. It is about a spacecraft that has a problem in space, and the crew could die or maybe not get back home from their trip to the moon. So we're pairing it with Apollo 13 because why the heck not?
Because you can't get Martian yet. Right?
So, even though it is called science fiction double feature, we're not going to have both movies being science fiction.
Why did you not do Capricorn 1 with it?
2 reasons. Capricorn 1.
It just seemed like the movie to be with the space disaster.
We still need to do The Last Dragon as well.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I think that'll end up getting worked into probably next year, because we already have Christmas decided, don't we? Or
Well, December's was decided, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not going to be running them after December. So if somebody else wants to take over organizing and running them, that will be fine. But December is the last time that I'm going to be doing movie night.
It is an event, so
It'll be followed.
Yeah, there's legal issues.
yeah. Yep. We'll take care of those issues. Okay, membership. What's our current count?
44 members as of earlier today. That is 44 active members shown as paid, which means it does not include people who have paid and are not updated, which may include Austin and Mark. So
I'm paid.
yeah, you may be paid, but did somebody remember to update? Did somebody remember to update the system?
Update.
Yeah.
Probably not updated yet.
It's in the
You're
works.
updated on that account because I monitor the emails when you do that. I'm the one who sends back the one that approved you.
Thank you.
So that's why I knew exactly who you were. So, like I said, the 44 does not include people who have not been updated, who have paid, and I know that there are people in that category. So,
There are only 2 that I know of.
okay.
So,
Well, so that would make it 46.
Yeah, and one of the people from Barnes and Noble, one of the managers, he signed up. I toured him on, I think it was Monday or Wednesday, and he signed up. And he's a beer guy, so he's got experience actually brewing beer and that sort of stuff. And he's also experienced in woodworking as well. And then I just did a tour just before everybody got there at the meeting, and we're pretty certain he's going to join as well. And they were from Barnes & Noble, so the Barnes & Noble thing turned out pretty well.
Cool. Good to hear.
And definitely on that Barnes and Noble thing, the active hours were the early daytime.
Mhm.
Man, we saw so many people coming through there. It was crazy how many people we had coming through.
Yep.
Towards the evening, it really died off pretty quick, especially on Sunday night. So we could probably be done by 7 or so on a Sunday if we really get into it again.
Next time it might be bigger, so it might last longer. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that was definitely a good event. It did a lot for us. Okay, so marketing. Can you report for marketing?
Can you stop it? Did you stop it? Okay.
To my knowledge,
What slip?
we had the meeting with Pierre.
Pierre.
Yeah. We had the meeting with Pierre.
Mhm.
That went well.
Mhm.
Learned a lot. To
Got a
my
lot.
knowledge, still
Go
having an email
Join us.
conversation.
Jim will find you a chair.
So we're working on some things to improve our online social media presence on Twitter and Facebook and such, and improve our outreach to not only the membership, but the people interested at large. So that's going pretty well.
Okay. We now have also official banners made up that we can take to events. We're working on, we just got donated some displays for the banners to help us keep those in a nice, neat packaging. So we'll be getting those set up and working. Like we already said, the rulers were a huge success. Everybody loved them. You know, it was a great takeaway for people to have at the Barnes & Noble event. Another great takeaway was the LED badges that Austin did. The kids loved assembling them. It was really pretty easy. We didn't have any accidents with anybody like burning themselves on the glue gun or anything. Everything went really well.
We gave away over 100 badges.
The little discs
But everybody made one of their own.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
are very, very popular.
That's pretty cool.
They're no fun to clean.
No, I can agree.
We need to work on our acrylic skills.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Website. Anything updated with the website?
We haven't changed anything this month.
Sure, it seems like there was something that we did. I'm working on it. Oh no, I'm looking into for the door. I'm dealing with the website for that. So. Okay. Okay, security committee. JJ, you and I have met. We've talked about the door lock. We've talked about the cameras we need to get up. Is there anything else you can think to add to that, JJ?
No, I think everything's okay, I guess. I think the main fun part is going to be getting the software to talk to Wild Apricot.
Yeah, that's what I'm currently working on. So that's my fun job. Okay, executive committee. So, last meeting we said that we would get the bylaws finished, posted online, and that way everybody could read through them, make suggestions and comments, and that we would vote on them during this meeting to vote them in. However, that has changed slightly. We had a meeting with our SCORE business consultant, Ravi, and after talking with him, we realized there are a few more legal issues that we need to make sure are sorted out with the bylaws. We need to make sure that we run them by a lawyer, so that way they are legal, basically, and complete. So we will do that, and then we will bring them to the next meeting and have them voted in for January, which what we were going to do tonight anyways was vote them in for January. So that's the update on those. In addition to that, what was going to happen was, actually that's new business. I'll save that for news business, which is actually next. Okay, so I'm going to just roll into new business here real quick. So what was originally going to happen was we were going to vote on the new bylaws, and then once the new bylaws were instantiated, it was going to create the chief financial officer position as a member of staff, and then we were going to talk about voting Mary Lett into the position. However, since we're not voting in the bylaws, instead I would like to talk about voting her in as our official CPA for now. And then once we get the new bylaws in, we can bring her in as CFO. Mary Lett comes recommended by both me and Dave. We both use her services and are very pleased with them. Mary, would you like to say anything, to just talk about yourself or anything?
I have a small accounting firm. I have 3 people who work for me, and we specialize in not-for-profits and small businesses. So, been doing this for a long time. My original degree was in social work, so that's why I picked up the not-for-profits as part of my accounting practice. So I kept in with the not-for-profits, while making a profit for a change.
Yeah, you don't do that in social work.
So, anyway, looking forward to working with you all.
We feel Mary would be a very valuable resource for us to have, and greatly value her abilities here. So, that being said, we do need to officially vote her in. Is this one of the things I can actually initiate?
Yeah, this is something that you can actually call for a vote on. Before you call for a vote, we should ask if there are any other discussion or questions.
Good point. So, would anybody like to ask any questions or anything such as that? Okay. So, all in favor, or actually I need, Kevin?
Yes, hello. I just wanted the record to reflect that I've joined the meeting, and I also wanted to ask Mary just a slightly related question. If you could leave a business card on the bulletin board there at Cyberia, I'd like to pick it up and speak with you, please.
Sure. Be happy to.
Okay. So, any other further questions or discussion topics? All right. So, bring it to a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Congratulations and welcome.
Oh.
Almost everything that you.
Yes.
Generally speaking, we don't vote on small. It's pretty much been decided outside.
Yeah.
It's worth bringing up.
Okay. So, into new business. Okay, so Kevin, since you're here, we saved this for you. The vacuum former. Could you let us know about that? What's going on?
My level of involvement so far has been, you've seen the case, the cabinet that I made for the vacuum former. Not sure that I picked the best color scheme for that. I was going to make the Cyberia logo red on the black background, but after doing some testing, it looked to me like the darker color scheme would be better. I was going for dark Spider-Man, and I'm afraid I got dark and depressing.
Morticia?
In any case,
It looks
the
nice.
cabinet is done, except that the plans call for an upper cabinet that goes on top of the very top of it. It's an enclosure for the heating element, but I think the heating element is down in the lower cabinet, so I can fabricate that easy if we feel like we need it. I was thinking of putting like a punched steel top on it for ventilation instead of the pegboard top that they had. And the other thing that I was wanting to contribute is a platen for the machine. The plans call for us to use aluminum and use a hammer to roll it over a rounded surface to give it a rounded edge. I was looking into pizza dough racks that are already aluminum and they already have a rounded edge to them. And I was thinking of nesting a couple of them together with epoxy. The plans call for the least possible amount of airspace inside the platen. So I figure if we took one of the trays and lined the edges with epoxy and nested them together, that would make a good platen. The thing is, the largest one I've been able to find is 18 by 26, which won't take advantage of the full area. But that might be a good starting point, or maybe we should just go ahead and make the larger one per instructions. Does anyone have any thoughts?
Out of sheet metal?
It's aluminum is what it calls for.
Yeah, so she basically like what a 16th or 32 second 7-inch sheet of aluminum.
Yeah, it calls for 2 layers of aluminum with a like a wire mesh spacer in between, but they're looking for the least amount of volume inside because any volume that's inside the platen just takes away from the vacuum. I think we'll also need more than one size depending on the size of the project. So if we could use the pans to come up with like a medium size, and get things going, and then maybe we could revisit it and come up with a larger one. It's a thought.
Yep. Has anyone looked at baking sheets?
Exactly.
Baking
That's exactly
sheets
what I'm suggesting. But they don't go that large.
Okay. Yeah.
So the baking sheets weren't as large as the dough pan. So the largest kind of sheet pan that I can find is a dough rack pan at 18 by 26. I looked at like automotive drip pans, like you might slide under your car in your garage, but I think that they're bigger. And so if anyone wants to kind of throw down and help me find something that's suitable, I think it would be a real good platen, to make it out, because it's going to be a heavier gauge metal.
I'll look around.
I'll look around. I need to go to the machine to get a better idea.
I guess the other thing is if we have a good way to drill a grid into it, we can do it by hand. It's a lot of holes to drill by hand. Do we know anyone that has a large format CNC machine?
Maybe.
You missed that discussion.
We actually talked about that before you got here. JJ is actually going to start work on that possibly as soon as this next week, and hopefully that should be up and running soon.
If worse comes to worse, we could probably fit that on the mill itself and just mill it out. That wouldn't be a big deal.
There's also the possibility of using Dane's machine.
Yeah, that's true. Forgot about that.
Because Dane does have a large format CNC that will hold that.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Well, everybody get with me and we'll coordinate, I guess.
All right. Anything else as far as that goes?
Well, I'm going to ask you the same question. What is going on with the rest of the machine?
Okay, so what's going on with the rest of the machine is that we're currently working on going through the bill of materials for the Google Doc and making sure that that's got all the right things on it that we need to purchase, because we voted on the budget and we have the budget set aside to purchase everything necessary. So now we just need to know what we need to buy. I'm going to be ordering a piece of 1.5-inch square steel tube this weekend, because the center drop down part of the carriage needs to be re-welded so that it will slide without binding. Right now it's not square and it's binding. To re-square it, you'd have to resquare the entire frame, so it's easier just to redo that single arm rather than do the entire frame again.
I've missed a couple of meetings. Have we secured funding for our budget?
Yes. Yes, we have.
I thought that was online. I just hadn't heard that it happened.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Anything else with the vacuum former? All right. Something just dawned on me. Just extra announcement back towards the executive stuff. The bylaws are posted online now. So if you go to the About Cyberia and then go to New Bylaws, you can read them there, and then there's also a link to comment on them. So if anybody here would like to go through, add their comments, their ideas, what they think of them, feel free. So.
I actually read them. I thought they were quite good, actually.
Thank you.
But I actually read them before.
So, okay. Any other new business?
Oh, yes. One thing. You got something?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Rent.
Right, I had that written down. Still, thanks, Jim. Okay, so we received notification from the landlord that our rent would be going up from $800 a month to $1,000 a month, effective in December, I believe it was.
December.
Yeah. So I went and talked to the landlord, and basically it boils down to I have to locate the original lease agreement that we have and verify, but it seems like what he's saying is correct, and that basically he's been forgetting to raise our rent for the past 4 years, so he's catching it up. So technically we're still getting a discount because we didn't have to pay it for all those 4 years, and he's not going to make us pay it. But I am going to find the lease and verify that, make sure that that's okay. Yeah. So, and there's some other stuff to catch you up on with that. So, yeah. So that's the rent.
I requested and received licenses from Atlassian for a lot of software, but we require a server to run it on. So I was trying to suggest we use the Amazon services we already have to set up a server to run it. But that's going to cost money, and there's not really anything allocated for that at the moment.
I was going to say, do you have any ideas about how much that'll?
I would assume less than $20 a month.
Okay.
I haven't looked at the requirements yet, so, but.
All right.
What kind of software are we talking?
It's vast. Basically, some of it would be chat software, some of it would be user management. So we could take our Wild Apricot database and Active Directory in here and merge them together. One of them is source control for managing source code. The big one, though, is probably a service desk and a knowledge base and a ticket handling system. So somebody can go in and say, hey, this machine's broke, fix it. And it would create a service request and allow us to track it, access it, and keep track of all our assets and keep service requests on service history, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other pieces of software that he mentioned being the chat software. The chat software actually can run as a forum.
Right.
Because this is HipChat. I don't know if any of you guys have ever used HipChat on the free accounts, but we use HipChat at work as a way of sharing documents in the office. You can literally post a document to the HipChat server and have it sent off to somebody else who's on this. There's a computer, there's a web interface, a computer program for it, and phone applications for it. So you'd be able to share information, and that gives us a chance to get away from Facebook. for those people who don't like all of the other stuff that comes with Facebook.
Right. Yeah, it would basically be like a social network inside of Cyberia.
Yeah.
So we could finally be able to share files and not have to, you know.
Aren't we trying to increase the social media aspect for the club? Not necessarily getting away from Facebook, but optimizing the use of Facebook?
I would rather see it for marketing purposes, not running the company.
Yeah, the social media stuff that we're talking about is social media marketing, more than trying to connect the club members in a public discussion.
Yeah.
On every little aspect.
We've got 46 members right now, and we've got 400 people on Facebook, and probably 20 of those are members. Right. So really, it's more about attracting some of those 400 in here than trying to share our files over Facebook.
And 3 of us actually
Well,
post.
here,
What was that?
I said, and 3 of us actually post.
Right. Exactly. And that's that. So
well,
all our topic.
as kind of a layperson, because like when I got here, loads of software have been downloaded to my head because we want to use different stuff for this, that, and the other. We've got Google Docs. We've got the file sharing on Facebook. And I'm just trying to understand why we're adding more stuff to share more files when we already have free stuff doing the same job.
Okay.
It's not doing any job.
Actually, what this is actually going to do is basically replace the forums, which the current forum system is subpar, pathetic, unused. I could go on to get to more accurate descriptions, but to say that it emits an odor.
The idea with what we're trying to do is to move to a more robust system that we can more easily unify the communal aspects of the community, things that we would normally use for Google Docs with talking to people and everything like that, getting all the files shared, just going over things. We would still post certain things on Facebook, but the main collection of everything where people would know, okay, I just need to know this, would be the Cyberia forums, which would be actually useful rather than what they currently have.
Yeah. I've had quite a few members actually say we need a place where we can post and share ideas that is not out in the public eye. And a lot of people have said specifically, I do not like Facebook. Kevin is one of them.
I hate Facebook.
Yeah. Mark does not like those open social media places either.
I'll add my voice to that as well.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few people who have said that they don't want to keep our discussion on Facebook for things related to the club. And then there are other people who have said you don't want to have any discussion that looks negative towards the club in an open forum like that. So you need to have, but you still need to have a place for an open and honest discussion, a frank discussion about what does and doesn't work. And that can't always be done face to face.
Yep. And another thing this software does is it allows us to integrate everything. So if the robotics team has source code for a robot that they're putting in competition, we can put it in the source code repository, and they can create bugs against it that are linked to the source code, to each individual fix in the source code. We can keep track of them. We can create a knowledge base, and we can do that for everything. So the 3D printer, I don't have to go and ask Jim and 12 other people where the config file is. It's right there.
Yeah. Right now, Jim, I'm managing 5 different email accounts for Cyberia stuff, and I would kind of like some of these tools are going to actually help us condense that down. So,
Yep.
So instead of having the Google Docs and all of this other free stuff that we're using, instead we'll just have much more simpler services to use.
Maybe not simpler, but a lot of it's automated and it's all integrated. And I would add that this is the software that the people who are in the software development, and even Andy in his insurance business is using it. This is the software we use to run our company. So I have had Dave Taylor, for example, ask specifically for this software because it's what he uses in his business. And I use it and love it and know how to use it.
Yeah.
And it can provide a lot of automation. Like if somebody asks a question, you build workflows and have them all dealt with, and that's time consuming, but if we use it right, there you go. But we've got the software, we just need a server to run it on.
Okay. So try and get some good numbers for how much it'll cost us per month for
Sure.
the Amazon service. And do me a favor and go ahead and look into if we can host it here on our own server.
Yes, absolutely. We could certainly host it here on our own server. We don't have anything suitable today, but if we wanted to put money towards something, that would be something we could do.
Yeah. And
Would we have sufficient upscale bandwidth for that? We do not
Probably.
have much.
Probably fine for what we're doing.
Okay. I just want to make sure because we don't have a whole lot of upload bandwidth.
Okay.
So
Anyway, that's something we need to figure out in the next month or so, whether we're going to spin up another server out at Amazon and pay for that, or try to glue something together upstairs.
okay. All right. Any other new business? Going once. Going twice. All right. I make a motion. You all right there?
Yeah,
Well,
do something in my throat.
Another update with events.
Oh, okay.
Talked to Ms. Cooper from George Washington Carver School that we donated that we're leasing a couple of the 3D printers to.
Mm-hmm.
Things seem to be going well.
Okay.
They would like to have just a refresher course here in the coming weeks or so. So we're going to get that scheduled, and then we might have class where Cyberia comes in to teach things about the 3D printer to the kids and just do different things. So,
Okay.
All right.
And we talked about collecting the rest of the pre-purchase Steams.
Not yet, because we haven't gotten the curriculum together yet to go with the rest of the machines to the other schools.
That should be before Thanksgiving is when I expect to have all that done. And it's and then we'll start delegating deciding who those are going to go out to around Thanksgiving.
Okay. Part of the cleanup effort I'm going to make back in the club area, top in the corner back there, I'm probably going to try and build some shelves specifically for those printers, so that way they have their own little nook to be stored. Okay. Any other new business?
Talk to me about the shelves. I got some materials for shelves. We'll talk about that later.
Cool. All right.
I actually have one piece of equipment that might be interesting for people. It's I have a 3D camera that if anyone wants to actually play around with, just talk to me. And I'm actually going to bring it here tomorrow if anyone wants to play with it. I just kind of would like to know when to show up.
okay.
All right.
But that's something that's a couple people were interested in. So.
All right. Cool. Any other new business? Going 4 times. Going 5 times. Going 7 times. 6 times. All right. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Happy to.
See you, Kevin and JJ.
See ya.
Yeah,